It's time for nostalgia. The Goosebumps movies. Spooky. So today in this movie discussion, we are going to be talking about the Goosebumps films. So the first film, right here, and I got both versions, the movie version and the novel book. So Goosebumps, the first film. For a Goosebumps movie, it was pretty good. It was way better than what they did in the '80s with the TV show, the Goosebumps show. The movie was way better. It looked like the characters in the uh, in the book. Looked just like they did in their book cover art. The problems that the TV show had was that the characters suffered from loosely looking like their book counterparts, if not looking like them at all. But this movie had really kept it up with the story canon, like all the stories that R.L. Stine did. It had all the monsters going on a rampage. You had the Shocker on Shock Street Prey Mantis, the Werewolf Fever Swamp. You had Slappy the Living Dummy, of course. You had the Graveyard Ghouls. You had Fluffy. You had Fifi the vampire dog. You had the vampires. You had the Little Shop of Hamsters reference in there. You had the creep from Calling All Creeps. You had the clown dude. You had you had the Bobble Snowman of Pasadena. You had the tendrils. You had the bees from Why I'm Afraid of Bees. You had the Haunted Mask. The Haunted Mask had much more of a sort of role to play in the sequel, which I will be talking about. But so for the first movie was great. Jack Black as R.L. Stine was okay. It was good to see R.L. Stine in the end of the film as a cameo, but Jack Black's role of R.L. Stine was surprisingly good. I didn't think he could pull it off, and he played much more of a dark humored version of R.L. Stine, which is pretty cool. And it's always great to see stuff with Jack Black in it. I always think he delivers. So the film itself had a great storyline. You had to get the monsters back in the book, and so he had to. And I keep wanting to say he's Chucky because they're both killer dolls, but Slappy, he burned the book, so they have to try to figure out a way to get the dolls, get the monsters, back into the books. So yeah, that was a great storyline. There was a whole subplot or character arc between Hannah from the Ghost Next Door and Zach's character, and it was a great character. I like to see Hannah in it because Hannah was one of my favorite characters in The Ghost Next Door, which is one of I think R.L. Stine's best works. That wasn't really that scary, but it had a good storyline nevertheless. So what is there to say about number 2? Sorry, I don't have the second movie right now. I do watch it on demand, but we have the Goosebumps Haunted Halloween. I don't want to hate on it because I generally like the Goosebumps franchise, but the Goosebumps second movie, I don't know what there is about it, but I knew that Slappy wasn't voiced by R.L. Stine because it didn't sound like he was voiced by R.L. Stine. And I checked in the credits and I checked in the credits of the movie, and yep, he's not voiced by R.L. By Jack Black anymore. He's voiced by some Bill something or other. But let's check on demand and see what the ratings are. Okay, so here we have the Goosebumps 2 on Crave TV on demand. And as you can see, the rating isn't all that good. We got a 40% out of we have a 48% and a 40%. So the rating wasn't all that good. Now let's check the rating of the original film. So here is the original film as we see here. And as you can see, the ratings are way better than the second film. It is a 77% and a 62%. We got a full box of popcorn and it is 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this film did way better than the original. So did I like the Goosebumps films? Well, for the most part, yeah. I'm very nostalgic. Reminded me of my childhood. And I generally enjoyed them. The second one, I can say it wasn't all that good. There was just something really off about it. And I hope that when they make Goosebumps 3, because they are going to make a Goosebumps 3, I hope that they do anyway, because they left it off on a point where they could make a Goosebumps 3. I hope it's not one of those films where they decide, oh, we should leave it off on a cliffhanger so for an eventual sequel, and then they get something like The Little Shop of Horrors that they did. But The Little Shop of Horrors did this thing where they set it up for a sequel, but it never happened. But the Goosebumps film series, I give it 3.5. I give it 3.5 fireballs out of 5. So yeah, this has been my review of the Goosebumps movie series. I hope you enjoyed, and do please take care.